All right. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Welcome in. Thank you so much for taking part in that little tarot lesson I gave last night on YouTube. If you haven't seen it, I'll put a little link here. If you're looking to get some personalized tarot advice for yourself, that's what I'm shooting for, to help you really embrace your intuition. This last 4 months of the year is going to be really focused on that. So if you want to go grab that, take a look at it. It's on YouTube. All right, let's see where we go. I'll be doing the mid-month readings very soon. I'll be doing, back by popular demand, that love, money, and wild card spread, which I did a few months ago. People seem to like that, so I will do that again. All right, let's see what's going on this morning here. Deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. Bloom where you're planted. It makes me laugh. Write this into reality. We are talking about manifesting here for sure, and we are talking about the stories you tell yourself. Ask wonderfully, receive graciously. This is most definitely a manifestation. I think some of us, and I know I have done this in my life, that I've moved a lot. As you know, like you've seen, yes, in the 5 years, the channel is 5 years old this fall. I have moved 3 times. But that's over. Travel, not moving. But sometimes I remember things would go on and I'd just be like, I just need to change the scenery. And while that can be good, it can also be like starting over in a good way, and also starting over in terms of your own, what you're putting out there into the world. So you don't need to physically necessarily move yourself in order to start over or in order to create the reality you want. You just have to decide. Okay. Yesterday's reading about quick decide also kind of flows into here about like, okay, what do you want to be known for? What do you want to be putting out into the world? What do you want to align with? And what do you not want to align with? These are decisions that I feel like are coming up for us in mid-September here. And as we move into Libra season, we are going to be tasked with, you guessed it, balancing. How am I living my life all for my work? Am I totally wrapped up in a relationship that's, put whatever label you want on it. But if you're completely wrapped up in it, is it harming my reality? Is it enhancing my reality? And what else needs to be added or subtracted in order to create the life that I'm looking to create? And, if you're somebody who maybe moves the goalposts on yourself a lot, that can be really exhausting. So give yourself a break if you have achieved 5 years on YouTube. If you have achieved, not for the faint of heart, I will tell you. If you have achieved something, give yourself a pat on the back, okay? 4 of Swords underneath. Knight of Cups. 3 of Wands. Hanged Man. 3 of Pentacles. 7 of Cups. King of Wands. Yep, I'm seeing that happening. 5 of Swords, the Empress, and the Page of Wands. So in the little lesson I gave last night, I talked about using this spread, and I talked about, my intentions going into a reading. For me today, I'm talking about past, present, and future. Okay, so if you're, if you're taroting along with me at home, that's my intention here. This is what's the secret, or what's going on underneath, is there's still some healing going on here. There still needs to be some healing, or you need to allow some kind of healing cycle to play out. Okay, don't rush things or don't move things too quickly. And I feel like there's going to be a clash with enough already. I just need to get this rolling, or I just need to get this going. I have been seeing this Knight of Cups everywhere. Knight of Cups is a very slow, not as slow as the Knight of Pentacles, but it's a very slow moving knight. And coupled with this 3 of Wands, where we currently are, and this Hanged Man, slow down or stop because your perspective is off. I've had a lot of messages this summer about what's going on in your perceived reality is not what's truly happening. And I feel like that's throwing things off a little bit. You are behaving as if, right? I'm going to make this decision in order to kind of force the issue, okay? This is Mars energy, and we are going to have Mars in retrograde later in October. And Mars energy is definitely about, and I see the King of Wands here. So Mars energy is definitely about, it rules Aries, and it's like, I take action. That's how I know I'm alive, is I lead, or I move forward, or I take the next step. And with this energy of Hanged Man and Three of Wands and Knight of Cups, things may have been a little slower than you want, but I do feel like it has purpose. What needs to change is the perspective on that, oh, it's giving me time. Oh, okay. So maybe I don't have my dream partner or the career I want or something like that. It's giving me time to prepare. I do feel like there is somebody on the path here who's going to give you the answer as to why this is going so slow. Why can't I affect change when I want to? Why can't I push a button and things, very Aries energy or very Martian energy to be like, I push a button and something happens. And if that doesn't happen, there's this sense of, oh, is it me? Or am I manifesting something else? You can get really twisted up around in this Seven of Cups, and you can feel very confused if things aren't happening the way you want them to. Okay, so Three of Pentacles here. In the past, you may have done some more collaboration, or you might have worked with others it's like working in tandem with other people. So like a prayer circle or a manifesting circle, or, I belong to a women's group. I belong to a loom, these other things that are elevating your energy, because I do feel that there is some healing that's still necessary. And that's why things aren't appearing in your timeline. And it can also be that there's this sense of, I feel like you might have felt that someone is screwing with me. All right. Whether it's the universe or it's YouTube or whatever, you might have felt like, okay, someone's messing with me. Why is this happening? Or why is this my person not showing up? Or why am I not able to see the results of my manifestation lately? And I think actually it's going to require you to look at things quite differently. This is about surrendering to what is. This is also about seeing things from a new perspective. Perspective is where it's at. How are you framing the story of your life? So, when we are all consumers of media and news to a greater or lesser degree. And I worked in the news business for a really long time. And I remember being 23 years old and being like, who the hell am I to frame this story for other people? And my news director was like, listen, you need to give them the information and we have to tell it some way. So what you need to think about is, what are people interested in? Why would they be interested in this story? Who cares? Right? That was my biggest question in the news businesses. Who cares? Is this something that people do care about? Is it something they don't care about? And whether I personally cared about it or not, the decision was made based on, look, this impacts a lot of people. This impacts people's lives. It's important for us to be putting it out there. And this is how we would frame it. We would frame it as, this is what happened. This is the situation. This is the result of it. And this is how it's going to impact your life. And however we did that, different for each story, I feel like that's what's going on here. Like if you're having some kind of feeling at work that there's something amiss, then like, how are you going to ferret that out? Are you going to be furious and stamp your feet and close your arms and not talk to anybody? Or are you going to try to figure it out? Are you going to be like, why is this, what's happening? Now, I feel like you have some colleagues or you have some friends or you have some connections that will help you figure out what's going on. And, right now you might be a little confused as to how things are going to play out, but I like this though. I like the 3 of Wands there, because the 3 of Wands has an expectation that things will go in my favor. Everything is always working out for me. That's the mantra. Everything is always working out for me. No matter what it looks like, there's some kind of golden nugget here that I am calling in because I am healing. All right. There's some kind of beautiful energy, the Knight of Cups, that I am calling in because I am in this frequency. I'm in this energy of love or joy, regardless of the situation around me. I'm always finding something to be joyful about, to be grateful about. And this is really about gratitude. Okay. So whatever is coming to you, try to see, it comes more naturally to me, although as I get older, maybe less naturally to me, about seeing the silver lining of things. And I feel like that's what Venus does, right? Venus, this is the Empress, grounded, and, Taurus energy and Libra energy, as we're getting into Libra time. It is about, how can I look at my situation and pick out the things that are like the gold? How can I move away from anything that's toxic and yet still welcome in what I am manifesting, which can be love or money or anything like that. I do see a King of Wands showing up, someone who is very dynamic, someone who is quite bold. And this may be you, that you are inspired because you've anchored yourself, because you've balanced yourself to be dynamic and bold. And that has you seeing the situation from a different angle. And you're like, yeah, I can take this on. Whether this person shows up or not, I'm going to be happy in my life. Whether this job that I'm currently in works out the way I want it to or doesn't, I am going to go in the direction that is happiest for me, that is most fulfilling, most meaningful for me. I'm shifting out of something that's transactional. I do stuff and I get money for it, into something that I can get up out of bed for every single day. All right. Something that is exciting to me, something I'm interested in. I'm walking around the grocery store going, oh, okay. Wouldn't it be cool if, we did a tarot certification? Wouldn't it be cool if I did some journals, some journal prompts? Wouldn't it be cool if this is what I'm thinking when I'm not reading, when I'm out in my life? I'm thinking about these things. I'm getting comments from people. I'm going, okay, this is right. I'm engaged in it. It's meaningful to me. It's purposeful to me. And I know that I sort of hold this, this energy of, for me, it's all about all of us embracing our intuition on a very high level, because that is the thing that's going to help you and me be most at peace. Because that's what ultimately this is going to bring us, is we're healing situations that keep us in this sense of other, there's a plot afoot. There are people against me. There's situations in my life that are terrible and all that stuff. And when you focus on that, that's what you see and that's what your experience is. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist, but if you shift your perspective to, okay, how can I go in the direction that is going to be meaningful to me, that is going to be fulfilling to me, then these things, you shift looking at this kind of situation and going, okay, well, that job's not for me. That's not on my path in terms of meaningfulness and fulfillment and all of that. And I'm trading away my life energy. There is nothing more valuable than your life energy. Nothing. How you spend your days is how you spend your life. So let's not pretend that, and I think we used to do this in the 20th century before I was a grown up, but I think there was just this sense of like, okay, I'm going to break rocks for 40 years or whatever. And then I'm going to retire to some beach in Tahiti. And like, that's a fantasy. Why do we spend our whole lives? My father had ALS the minute he retired, worked very hard his whole life, enjoyed it. He did love it. So his life was spent in a meaningful direction, but it was, I'm glad that that happened, because as soon as he retired, he had ALS, and it was a 4-year battle, which he ultimately lost. And that's never the thing we think of, right? When we're thinking about later on, it's like, no, it's right now. Live the life that you want to live right now to the best of your ability. Make choices that are going to bring you closer to meaning and fulfillment. And then tell yourself that story every day. Because that's what's going to get you out of bed in the morning. Okay, the Page of Wands here. That's what's going to get you feeling inspired and feeling like you're moving toward the reality that you're creating every single day. What do they say? Is it Steve Jobs who said an overnight success takes 5 years? I am a perfect example of that. And I'm happy to share it with you anytime. All right. So let's see where we go here. I'm going to look and see how this unfolds. So there's a link below if you want to continue on with me. Pathfinders, let's keep going. All right. I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.